So I think I like to simplify this. It's an oversimplification, right? Us unpacking and rewiring our nervous system is a very slow process. This is not like a weekend warrior, I do these spiritual adventure retreats sometimes and we go on exotic places and do rah things. The reality is that the answer is going to be, we have to get back to the animal body. And we have to do this by disengaging from the overstimulating things. So there's like so much overstimulation, from the food we eat to just like the noise to like, you're talking about New York City, like New York City, when the first time I went to New York City, I was living in the country in Idaho. And, my dear friend came and stayed with us I went to New York City, then she came and stayed with us. And she was just like, how do you handle the quiet? It's making me crazy, right? She could, like, her nervous system was tuned in, right? So there's this, like, our nervous system, when it's over agitated and it's getting all this extra stimulus, it creates the need for distraction. And so I want to simplify this. I like to keep a really simple model. So this is sort of jumping ahead, but this seems important. So there's 4 pieces of this, of the reintegration of the animal body. One is presence, meaning feel it. So like last night when, my sister sent me a text, or my dad sent a text saying, hey, grandma's probably going to pass tonight. Let's all send her good love and energy so she can go peacefully. Then presence is to feel whatever I'm feeling. It's not try to be positive or try to bypass it or smoke a joint or make it go away. It's presence. It's like presencing whatever it is. Like in this moment, we could all presence. Like if you just like close your eyes and go into your body and just feel what is, like kind of move your torso, just notice your physicality of your body, the bones, notice the muscles feeling as you move a little bit, and then get quiet and still and notice the energy body. Notice the space behind your eyes. Notice the space in your heart. Notice down in your core, down in your pelvis. That's presence, right? We just drop in. Like it's not complicated. We're just not paying attention because there's so much coming at us in our thinker brain. The second piece of this is breath, because in the moment of a trauma, we don't breathe. We freeze, right? Third one is movement, and it's moving the vagus nerve, right? So the inside of our spine, there's this nerve that goes from our tailbone up to our back of our head called the vagus nerve. And a lot of our emotions are stored here. Our psoas muscle, which is just underneath our rib cage, is also where a lot of emotion is bound up. And so we have all this energy and then down in our hips, because hips is where fight or flight happens. And it happens, I'll get to this in a second. I think I still have enough time to draw my picture. But what's happening is there's this bound up energy in our body when we can snake our spine, right? If we can move it like this and we can move it forward and back like this, what we're doing is we're unpacking that energy that's bound up in fight or flight. It's stuck, it's frozen. And so the movement, so just do this, so we actually get out of the thinker brain and get into the body. Take a big breath. Take it as much as you can, and now with that breath in, squish through your back, like stretch through the breath. Go from side to side. Open up your neck. That's a sign of vulnerability in nature, is like opening the throat. Close the body with the breath in. Squish it down. And now just let out a sound like a let it all the way out. And just notice there's a little bit more spaciousness. Because what we did is we put pressure on the vagus nerve, we moved, and then we're breathing because we're holding our breath to put that pressure on with our lungs. But presence, got to start feeling what you're feeling, and ride the waves by breathing through it instead of refreezing through it. Then you do movement and you do sound. The animals have it figured out, right? When 2 dogs fight, they're like, and then when they're done, they go, they separate. And what do? They're like, they shake it off and they go, and they roll on their back. Right? And we're taught as humans, like, look like this, stand like this. Hello, nice to meet you. The only time we're allowed to move that way is if we're dancing. Like if music's playing, oh, now I have permission to move. right? So we have these weird constructs that don't allow us to just be the animal that we are. But for the people that are having all this stress on their system, it's so essential that every single day, several times a day, we just take a moment to be an animal, to let go of all the expectations, to let go of all the shame, to let go of all these other constructs, and just be the living, breathing creature that we are. Feel whatever we're feeling. Right? If there's a truth, like I grew up in this place that was like always wanted to seek truth and prove truth, empirical truth. And the, science is always changing and the history is like rewriting itself. And there's like, what is truth? And religions try to claim different things. And if there is truth, the truest truth is this: what we're feeling in this moment is what we're feeling in this moment. How much money we have in the bank account is how much money we have in the bank account. Who I'm being, all the thoughts, all the feelings, all the sensations, all the emotions, all the desires and hopes and dreams and sadness and wounds and traumas and unhealed things and unknowns. And that experience, if I can let that be the actual experience I'm having, I'm rooted in truth. Because it just is. Like, Candice, you feel how you feel in this moment. You're breathing how you're breathing. Your body is exactly the shape that it is right now. Your emotional body, your thoughts, your thinker brain, tick, 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 gotta think it, gotta say smart things, gotta look good, right? That's going on like that. And if we're just in what is, then that's true in this moment. And it changes just as, just like nature changes, right? But alignment in the moment is alignment in truth, is flow, is being present in the now. And we do that through getting back into nature. So my 17-year-old son, he came home from school a few weeks ago and he says, hey Dad, just by the way, he's like, hands me this business card. He's like, this is the policeman's phone number. I'm fine. I got hit by a car on the way home from school. He's like riding his bike home from school. And I'm like, what? You get hit by a car? It's like, yeah, it's fine, Dad. I'm okay. My bike's a little messed up. And he was just like, that's how he does life. He's just like, he's like no big deal, whatever. Like baseline. And then 2 days later, he comes out and he's like a junkie. He's like, Dad, he's like, I can't focus, Dad. I'm trying to do my homework and I can't read a single line. I can't. How do you focus? Do you have a technique for focus, Dad? And I'm like, buddy, what's happening is that your animal brain, your survival brain knows that it's safe now. You had a near-death experience. The car hit you, went up on you. Like there was a moment of like your whole system went into fight or flight. And now your body, your nervous system and your brain is like, okay, I think we're actually safe. And it's starting to offload that. So you need to come outside. And I took him outside and we took our shoes and socks off and we stomped on the earth, stomping our heels into the ground. Why? Because all that energy is in your fight or flight, right? It's in your hips because when there's a moment of activation, that there's enough energy to kick our way to freedom or punch our way to freedom. But we're not allowed to kick or punch very often anymore. And so then we like, okay, I can run to freedom. But we're not allowed to run away from things. We're sit in your desk. Take it. Take the beating. Take the beating. Take the social pressure. So we're taught to freeze it. So we fight, flight, freeze. Wow. And we hold that energy. And it's enough energy that in case we get one more chance, we might be able to fight our way to freedom or run to freedom. So we store that energy bound up in our nervous system in the form of trauma or just stored energy. But then what happens is as soon as we're safe, it needs to come out because our nervous system knows how to heal. And it's like, this is not helping us anymore. And so it starts to come out and it's uncomfortable. So, with my son, we went outside, we pushed against a tree. I'm like, push as hard as you can, get in your hips, like, make some sound, like, make the animal noise, push, 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 stomp, swing on the tree, shake your body. We like went crazy. Flop all around on the ground, lay on your back and raise your butt off the ground and let your tailbone smack on the floor. Bam, bam, like boom, do these things. Reanimal yourself.